The first question was on the demographic composition of the employees of Nairobi City County government in terms of gender, persons with disabilities, age, and ethnicity. First of all, the number of staff we have is 16,321. It's the biggest staff component in the country in terms of devolution, because we also have the biggest population. We serve 5 million Nairobians. Actually 7 million during the day and 5 million at night. The number changes at night. Of that number, men are a minority. 7,661 are male, 8,660 are female. I have put annexes where we have that breakdown in Annex A. So that is in terms of the total establishment. In terms of persons living with disability, we have 172 staff living with disability. Again, the female are more, 90 of them, and the male are 82, coming to 172. In terms of age, and I think this is a success story, before I became the governor of Nairobi, less than 10% were below 35 years of age. Majority of the staff in Nairobi were above 50 and retiring. But since we're able to hire our Green Army, our young people to come in and help us, I'm sure you see them sometimes in the streets, we shifted that demographic. And so we have 18-year-old, we have 3,419 between 19 and 29, we have 4,164 between 30 and 39, 3,265 are between 40 and 49, 5,398 are above 50, between 50 and 59, and above 60 is 74. What this means in terms of economic planning is then that in terms of pension, we really must prepare ourselves. The coming few years, we'll have a lot of retirement in the county government of Nairobi because they retire at 60. Those above 60 are mainly those who hold statutory positions like deputy governor or chairman of, those ones are allowed. They don't have to be below 60. The composition in terms of ethnicity, Nairobi is the most inclusive county. I know you've seen many reports from many counties where everyone is from a homogeneous community. Nairobi, we have 42 communities in the county government. In fact, something surprising I've just noticed, even here, everybody who introduces themselves is from a different community. The county secretary is from Western, the CC Barrows is from the mountain, which we are not touching. The chief officer is from Nyanza. We're massaging the mountain. The supply chain director of procurement is from Kisii. The CEC finance is from Bomet. Joyce? Yeah. My PA is from Ukambani. Which county actually? Machakos. And me, I'm international. The Public Service Board representative is from the mountain. Yeah, you can see the mountain as true. Now, if you look at the composition, out of 16,321, the highest is the mountain, 6,173 from Kikuyu, 2,370 from Luo, Namlolwe, Kambas, 1954, Luyas, 1945. I'm sure you expected that number to be higher, but it is not. Yeah, Kisii, 1360, Kalenjin, 899, including Kerich and Tirop. Meru, 469, Embu, 221, Masai, 144, Somali, 123, Taita, 101. The Somalis we need more actually because there are many in Nairobi. Mijikenda, 76, Mbere, 74, Kuria, 59. I think I have more Kurias in my county than in Migori even.
Governor, don't go through all.
I don't need to go through all. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
In terms of the county executive committee, okay. 20. There are 20 Tarakas, 30 Samburus, even Pokomo, Basuba, Burji, Gosha.
Burji ni yangu sasa.
Yes.
Umeandika 9.
But but you know, sometimes we cover them, they say something else. We'll work on it, Chairman.
Wako wapi si unajua?
But even Hawaiian, James, Sakuye, everyone is in Nairobi. Normally, when you do this analysis, some don't wish to state their community for many reasons. For I don't know. They don't say. But this is what we have in terms of our analysis. Now, at the top level of the governance of the city, you have the County Executive Committee and chief officers. We have 10 CEC members. I have 2 of them here. And we have 29 chief officers. I have 29 different subsectors. The total is 39. Of the 39, 26 are male, 13 are female. Meaning we actually subscribe to the 2/3 rule. Exactly. But I found the female are better than these guys. And I would wish to have more. They serve very well. Next time it will be the other way around. Yes. The female are diligent and they're very good. In terms of personal disability, at the CEC and chief officers, we don't have anyone living with disability at that level. And this is also an example of where people don't declare it. Because from my view, when I see them, I know they're true. But if they don't say it, I can't force them to say it. But I know there are 2 of them. In terms of age, I have 30 to 39 years old, I have 15. I have the youngest cabinet in this country. I have the youngest CEC member, who is 30 now, in charge of health, wellness and nutrition. Her name is Susan Silantoi. She became a CEC at age 29, and she's a Samburu. In terms of 40 to 49, 10, 50 to 59, 12, 60 and above, 2. We mix age because there's beauty in the wisdom of the older and the energy of the young. One of my CEC members who is here with me joined City Hall the day before I was born. In 1985. He joined on the 1st of February, I was born on the 2nd of February. And so I have that spread from him. He looks very young.
You look very young, man.
He is the encyclopedia of land in this country. He can tell you a large number without knowing your name.
That's good.
So from SG Mwangi, Kaduita, to Susan, who is now 30, that is a breadth and span. So we mix age, we mix community, we mix ethnicity. In terms of the CEC members and chief officers, we have 2 from Kalenjin, 3 Kamba, 15 Kikuyu, 3 Kisi, 5 Luya, 6 Luo, and the rest are 1 Murule, Meru, Ogaden, Samburu, and Somali. The third issue, Chairman, on the recruitment we've conducted in the last 3 years. In 2021-22 financial year, we recruited quite a number I've listed there. The biggest being constables, 498. Early childhood, the biggest was ECD teachers. ECD is very important. And we did 498. In fact, this year we want to recruit more ECD teachers because we're building 1,500 classrooms across the city for ECD. Clerical, fire, disaster management, cooperatives, etc. They're there before you. And traffic marshals. But that time I was in the Senate, though I still take responsibility. Financial year 22-23 is when we just got into office. We recruited more of the senior staff in terms of directors and deputy directors, assistant directors, as explained there. Gym membership, they can have their, whatever treatment they require, and just to relax and play games and, talk to each other. It's the first county to set that up because I take very seriously the mental health of my members of staff. Madam Opiata is in charge of that, and she's ensuring that we set that up. But we eliminate biases of, Nairobi is cosmopolitan. We have people from the whole country. 43 communities are represented in Nairobi. That's why we say those who try to put Nairobi in any tribal cocoon are on the wrong. We have everyone. In fact, I have failed because the last governor had even Asians, and I will bring Europeans. They are there in Nairobi, 3rd generation, 2nd generation. And so we don't have that issue. And we were rated the best in terms of inclusivity by the National Commission on Equality.
Chair, Governor, for your information, we have the report from NCIC here.
Yes.
You are number 4 after my county of Marsabit.
Marsabit has more communities.
Yeah, we have different communities. We have Merus, Kikuyus, and all those. Then Lamu number 2, Tana River number 3, Nairobi number 4.
It is not possible, Chair.
It is.
We need to.
Here's the report.
We will appeal. Because
Yes.
I listened for you.
You can only appeal
Even
to
the Sakuya.
NCIC.
I will appeal.
Yes, also.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
I don't know if there's another question. There's a question on procurement. I've listed some of the interns for WDF, Ward Development, ward-based projects. But Chair, we will provide that full IPPD data as agreed, Madam Opiata. Now, in terms of 30%, I feel like this is poetic because when the law was done in 2015, I put it, the law I proposed, and I said procuring entities must come and report to the Senate. So I'm very happy to come and report. In the last financial year, we've given young people, women, and person with disability business worth 1.37 billion. The entities have been listed. There are around 125 companies. And the one thing I would advise, sometimes you forget in the law, there's two different things. There's preferences and there's reservations. Reservations is when you say the only people who should apply for this is women or youth. And sometimes very low level procurement is given in terms of reservations. But when it comes to preferences, what it means is that when an entity is either youth, women, or PWD, in the scoring at the technical evaluation, you start them off with a preference in terms of a higher score. And so if a normal company scores 80% and a youth one scores 60, they are bumped up. Or a women one scores lower. That is what is called a preference. We put in that law because some people were very smart. You can be a governor or a PS or a CEO of an institution, and you register a company for your children, and you say it is youth, or your wife, or your girlfriend. So we said that the account, if you look at PPDA, section 53, 54, 55, we said the bank account to which you're paying to, the mandatory signatory must be verified to be that youth, or that woman, or that person living with disability. From there, if they get the money and give it to their sponsor, there's nothing else you can do. You know, you can take the cow to the river, but you cannot force it to drink. The reason we put this is because unless we empower our youth and women and persons living with disability economically, then we cannot empower them politically, we cannot empower them socially. The percentage of this needs to be measured on the procurable budgets. So, for instance, Nairobi budget is 42 billion shillings. But if you have to remove salaries because you're not procuring salaries, you have to remove pensions, personal emoluments, and then base your percentage of the 30% on what is in the procurement plan. And that is what I agreed with my supply chain director. So far we've done 1.37 billion. I would love to do more. But one thing I would urge you as a committee, when you deal with these procuring entities, ask them to do campaigns. We had set up a secretariat within the same law. The secretariat is at Treasury. I think that secretariat needs to be moved to the ministry in charge of youth so they can do campaigns. I once called a meeting at Nairobi Safari Club when I was the chairman of the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association. I chaired that association for 10 years. I put an advertisement and said, any young person who wants to know how to procure, come. I booked a room for 300 people. 3,000 came. The 3,000 who came were not the ones you'd call for a political meeting. Very dignified young people in their suits, with their folders. So many want to understand how to procure, but there's not enough training. And so with our Biashara Fund and as Nairobi County, we have signaled 85 officers in all the wards to look for these groups of women, of youth, to do activations, so that once we get the amount of money, 1.5 billion shillings that we've set aside, and it's an interesting fund. With 100 million shillings we're giving to the bank to cover interest and to cover the risk of the loan. The banks are giving us 1.5 billion that we're giving targeted women groups, youth groups, and PWD groups to do business. So we're not giving any company. We're giving those who know. In your market center, you know, who are na kinyozi, who are na boda boda. We actually